Hello again guys, this is Landro, Disc Priest off of the Wildhammer EU server from the guild Who Dares Wins. I'm just here to talk a little bit about my UI today, and I thought an ideal place to do it would be some of the slightly easier heroics that are on offer in patch 4.3.2, and this is a guild run of Hour of Twilight. What I'd like to talk about first is obviously the centre of my screen. Some people like to keep that clutter-free. They like to have full view of their character and its surroundings, and they will set up their UI thusly. As you can see, I'm not one of those characters. I like to, and this has come from a lot of 3 years of playing around getting the right setup that was good for me. I like to have my main healing UI in the middle of my screen, so that I can see any things that crop right under my feet, such as these ice circles. I can still heal my characters effectively. I get adequate warnings from deadly boss mods because it's set up to spam across the middle of my screen. I can see my healing bar, I can see my rapture cooldown, and I can see my prominent healing cooldowns on an add-on slightly to the right of my character called button timers. So yeah, starting from the bottom there, you've got Quartz, which is a cast bar add-on, and it is essential. It's a fantastic add-on. It's great for any healer, but it's also good for any class that has any form of channel spell, because it shows each tick of the channel. It's very good when I play Shadow Spec, but it's equally good because you can customize the location of the cast bar. As you can see, I've got it situated slightly to the bottom of my character, fitting in a nice little alcove between my button timers. There's a little space there, so it fits in quite nicely. And I was able to position directly above that an add-on that you'll see spamming my screen now, saying Rapture off cooldown, and that is Rapture timer. And you can see Rapture cooldown there. It tells you when it's back off cooldown. And I will get a nice sound play in my headphones and a message pop on my screen telling me that it's off cooldown, so I can keep Rapture on. As any raiding disc priest will tell you, it's an essential add-on to have. It's essential to keep track of your Rapture for mana efficiency, as any disc priest will know. Your main regen will come from Rapture, so it's important you know when it's off cooldown and when to shield a target that might not be taking huge amounts of damage, but enough to proc your Rapture again. Just to the right of that is an add-on that I mentioned called Button Timers, which I have come to love. I don't click any of those buttons, or very rarely click any of those buttons that are there. They are all built into modifiers or keybinds that I use with my healbot. The important thing with them is they're a visual representation of my cooldowns. I know when they're off cooldown, I know how long I've got left on relevant cooldowns, I know what I've got available to use in my healing arsenal, and it takes me one little glance to know what's there. Just to the right of that is Healbot. I've tried Click and Grid, I've tried many other healing add-ons. I've grown to love Healbot for its diversity, its customization ability. I can use it for PvE, PvP, just as easy as each other, so I like Healbot. I have a 5-man setup there, as you can see, which shows groups and pets. I have a different one for raids, I have a different one for 25-man raids, and I have a different setup for PvPing, but primarily it fills that section of my screen. And I also have it, of course, built in to show me any magic effects. As you can see there, Purifying Light just cropped up, so it was instantly dispelled. Any diseases that I can dispel will crop up there. Any debuffs such as Searing Plasma on Spinal Deathwing can be incorporated into it. It's a fantastic add-on, very customizable, and you can set it up exactly how you want it. You'll see in the middle of my screen regular updates from deadly boss mods, which is of course essential. As I said in the last video that I posted, it tells you what's happening then, tells you what's incoming, and slightly up and to the right of that it will show the boss's cooldowns, the cooldowns on significant moves, and they are vital for a disc priest, probably more than any other healer, for the simple fact that you need to be thinking of the encounter 5-10 seconds ahead of itself, so you can adequately deal with the damage spikes. Your main role as a disc priest is mitigation. If you can get pre-shields off, if you can get Divine Aegis off, if you can get your Prayer Mending bounce in, and Renews where required, not very rarely used as a disc priest. You won't be using that very much, but again, it's it all adds that little bit of pre-absorption, damage mitigation, which is your role as a healer. That's pretty much it on the UI front. It's interesting actually taking an analytical look at my UI. I've noticed little things that I'm not entirely happy with, and it gives me a chance to view it in this format. So you'll see my focus target, which is very good. Being an atonement spect priest, my focus target is the one that will be holy fired and smited, and often my healing target, as you see there, will switch around, but my focus will stay the same until I clear it with another macro and focus macro built into my holy fire and smite. As you can see, we need to get hit by a wave here. We've managed to dodge it, and we got the Eclipse achievement because Suki was feeling very generous to some of the other raid members there. But yeah, going back to slightly talk about my UI, I noticed the top left I could edit a few bits there to make my screen slightly less cluttered, but my personal preference is having my visual add-ons, in my face, right in the middle of the screen. I personally can still see things that are happening. I can still see the fire to move from, I can still see the ice patches to move from, I can still see those ads, but I find it very handy to give me a good feel of my character. Up next we've got a little bit of heroic Atramedes, I think that's the way to pronounce it. I'm probably pronounced that wrong. I personally didn't do this content when it was the current content, and we went back there as a guild somewhat in the dark. I think one or two of us might have had some experience in there. We went there and we had a bit of fun. We were learning the mechanics as we went. As you'll see from this video, we made some mistakes, but we had a lot of fun. We are actually obviously raiding Dragon Soul at the moment, but we get 8 of 8 down in one night now. Sometimes the heroic boss Morchuk, I think, down as well, so it gives us a chance on our second raid day, because we only raid twice a week, so we're a casual raiding guild, to go and experience some of the other content, get some of the achievements and some of the titles and some of the mounts from the older content that isn't quite so relevant nowadays. Playing alongside this, you will have the Hostages. This is a local band, a Mid-Wales band.
Just so you know, we've got no battle wrestlers left.
And one of the things I want to get going in my videos is promotion of up-and-coming musicians. So if you know of anybody who wants to be featured, send information my way. I'll pick some songs, I will recommend them, I will big them up in the videos and on my blog and via the YouTube channel. But it will just give them a chance to promote themselves for free. So thanks for watching and enjoy the listening. I'll see you all next week. Have a good weekend. Landro out.
Your spell on me. It's been a long time since I was free. I'm a fool you can't control. The spirit on my heart and my body and soul. Does everybody got someone to tell them it's alright? Am I the only one who's talking to himself at night? I know this has to stop tonight. Break down these boundaries. Run down the cavalry. This life is a dream, that's not all it seems. The truth will prevail when my ship sets sail. Break down those boundaries. Run down the cavalry. This life is a dream, that's not all it seems. The truth will prevail when my ship sets sail tonight. It's the best thing that you do. Can I learn how to stand tall? Cause I was something I was never taught at all. When it's not making this bad, just look at all those good things you have. Well, I know this has to start tonight. Break down the cavalry. This life is a dream and it's not all it seems. The truth will prevail when my ship sets sail. Break down those boundaries. Run down the cavalry. This life is a dream and it's not all it seems. The truth will prevail when my ship sets sail tonight.